Welcome to the Bobkast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and we're here once again talking about the Kokomo Bobkats and the big win they had on Sunday, currently 3-1 on the season. To my right, once again, he was with us last week, is the head coach of the Bobkats, Mr. Chandler Levinston-Simon. And then for the first time here on the show is a forward from the Bobkats, Akeem Springs, nicknamed Prince Spring. Going to get into that here in a second. But, Coach, welcome back.
Good to be back, happy to be here. Even happier after we get the win. So
that was a big win. And Akeem, first time here. Where did this nickname Prince Spring come from?
Coming to America. Growing up, Prince Akeem, so Prince came. And then I grew up a LeBron fan too. So he was King James. I'm like Prince Springs though. Yeah, there you go.
I thought it was because you had hops, like you could jump like Prince Spring, just get up there a little bit.
But see, my leg been bothering me. But we're going to get to that part of the nickname in like 2 games.
Okay. So maybe this week, maybe later this week in a rematch with St. Louis, we're going to talk about that later on. But you guys just came off a 3-game stretch in 4 days. We talked about it last week about how grueling that is going to be. Akeem, you're the newcomer here on the team. What was that 3 games and 4-day stretch like for you?
It was actually fun. It was fun for me because, and we talked about this, that's a pro field.
Yeah,
that's a pro field when you have the back-to-backs. You got to think about your body. You got to think about the travel. You have one team that you've been preparing for. You get maybe 2 hours to digest that. Now we got to start getting ready for our next team. I mean, that's a pro experience. It's definitely hard on your bodies, but I liked having that challenge early with this group because it showed us some of the stuff we have and it showed us some of the places where we need to work on some things too.
You know, that challenge, you talk about like physically on your body. Talk about it last week with Big Fudge when he played those back-to-backs and those stretches like that. It's really hard on your body. But I got to think, Akeem, it's hard on the brain too to kind of digest that in a short period of time and then get back out there and play.
I think just being able to, like for a quarterback, they say short memory.
Yeah.
You got to have a short memory
when
you're playing those back-to-back games because even, I'll say from the player aspect, let's say you didn't have the best game 1 of this road trip. We don't have time for you to be in that and have 2 more bad games. You have to be able to have that game, take whatever lessons you have from that game, get rid of it, get ready for the next one, and keep your confidence. So definitely it's a mental challenge. Once the body gets weak, the mind will go too. So yeah, so definitely it's a challenge for sure.
What challenge was it like for you in a new role this year, kind of preparing your team in a different way than a season opener? You got a lot of time, you got training camp, but all of a sudden we talk about it, but then you're actually right there in the mix, 3 games in 4 days. That had to be pretty challenging for you too.
Scouting was kind of hectic.
Okay.
Like putting together those scouting reports because we were just, at the beginning of the season, everybody's kind of getting their film together and different things like that. It's not necessarily all up there and different stuff. So you got to kind of sift through a little bit more information. It's not as categorized for you yet.
Yeah.
So, you got to sift through it and find the stuff, who's averaging what, who's playing well, different things like that. Okay, was it just a fluke? Was it one game? So there's been some guys that, when you've been in the league for 4 or 5 years, or you've been around it, you're like, oh, okay, no, he's not like that. That's somebody's letting him do something. He's not. He doesn't do that. There are definitely people that I've had to put on the scouting report. He's averaging this right now, but it was 2 games. It'll
even out.
Yeah. So stuff like that, and then also too with having to watch the film for 1 game, and then it's like, okay, gotta have something done for the next game. It's like almost not enough hours in the day sometimes.
That stretch, it was a win, a loss, a win. But that win was a big one, 139-103 against Madeira. Former Bobcat Derek Hawthorne, also known as Hawk, was on that team. I know we talked about with the Griffins, it was revenge. It was personal.
Yeah.
Heard Johnny Griffin Jr. say that on media day. I don't know if that was what was the motivation on Sunday, seeing a former Bobcat out there. But definitely, if that was a motivation, taking it personal, just like ASR, we used to rock with him, but now he's not our teammate anymore. We have to go at him hard. I saw that. I witnessed it. And you put together a phenomenal game plan, and the boys just played. What was it like seeing everybody click like that?
Man, it's one of those things like at the beginning of training camp, you kind of have a vision. And then when you put all the pieces together and things like that, it starts to shape and take form. And then you're like, oh, oh no, this is what it really can be.
Yeah.
Like, as good as I, in my mind, I was like, as good as that, we played better than I thought we were going to play in terms of like better, like then we would all come together as early as it is too at this point. Like I thought this might have been like, maybe a June win. Mm-hmm. We'd have this type of game like in June, but not this early. Yeah, and also too, with that too, I think also because there was more than just Hawk with Medora. Corey Boyd also played with us 2 years ago when we won the Midwest Conference Championship. And also Devon Dillard used to work out with us too as well before the preseason, before he got the call to go up to the BSL. So, and then also too, a lot of the guys, Medora being on the other side of Indy, a lot of the guys play at the open runs with like Greg Foster and a lot of the other guys on the team. So you see a lot of the same people, familiar faces, I'll say that. It's a lot of familiar faces.
We talked before the show, Akeem, about that game, and you said you had a feeling this might happen at some point. Now, Coach said it might happen in June. Mm-hmm. It happened, fourth game of the year? But when you saw everybody clicking like that, what goes through your mind as a player on the court like, man, we're really doing this, and you're a part of it?
It was good for me, and especially coming off of the loss we had.
Yeah.
I was excited to see how we bounced back. Mm-hmm. And that, for me, that was going to show me something about the group early on. For us to bounce back like that and to show the togetherness after a loss, that's what me and him have been talking about, the 21 assists. That's what we have been talking about, how we were sharing the ball, the excitement. These are the things that I look at, how excited we were when each other scored. Like, it's hard to beat a team like that. When you're on a court and you see that, and I actually heard some of the players out there like, we're not ready. Like, literally, they said that. On the other team, they're literally like, we're not ready for this game. And you see a guy score and they see us cheer, they like, they don't care who scores. It's like everybody's scoring. So it was definitely exciting for me, and it just made me anxious to see what this team could really do. We talk about championship. That's definitely something that we talk about every day. But it's something that's rare to see on a team this early. Like, right. I've played some other places, and in professional life, it's not high school where it's like, oh, we got our team. Professional life is everybody has families. Everybody has all these responsibilities that they bring. So you don't see teams gel really like that. So I think it's a testament to the coaching staff. I think it's a testament to the game plan. I think it's a testament to camp that we were able to gel that fast, for sure.
You mentioned other places you have played. Mm-hmm. You've had a chance to play numerous stops along the way in college, numerous stops along the way in the G League. And I looked at it. I think it was 3 teams in 2 years, but 4 stops. I think you played at Salt Lake City, a couple times. Mm-hmm. And that was just in that little website I saw. It could have been more places than that. Mm-hmm. But what's it like having experience in the G League, multiple stops in college, but then playing in the TBL? What is it like right now comparing this league to other places you have played?
And I said it after my first game, it was eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
Because you didn't expect it from the TBL. Right? And so the TBL's been around
6-7 years.
6 or 7 years, and when they were getting started, you're like, okay, it's another American league. Okay, cool. But now it's to the point where it's a legit pro league, and especially when you compare that to some of the lower level leagues in other nations. For the TBL, we'll say TBL is third division America. That's how I say it. Okay. If it's third division America, you're behind the G League in the NBA. NBA's top caliber in the nation. G League is right under that. So for this league, it's feeling like a real contender for a pro league, and it's really an option for guys. Like, I know Dillard on that team, he played in Cape Town. I played in Cape Town.
Okay.
Foster, I played against Foster in Mexico. Right? So, like, you got all of these guys that's coming to this league, and I think that they see it also as that it's a competitive league. It's challenging. You're going to get games. Some places you go, you might play 1 game a week.
Yeah.
And you have 2 practices, so it's not really a pro experience. This is a pro experience from, we talked about, like, even the back-to-backs. That's a pro, though.
Yeah.
And some leagues you don't really get that. So it's been eye-opening for me. I'm super thankful that he was hard on me for these past few years to get me here.
Yeah.
But you could see it in his eyes, like – I want you, King, but I know you might not see it how it is yet. And I can see that when he was speaking to me like, King, you don't know how good this is. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing how good of an opportunity it is, and I'm just thankful. I'm thankful right now that I trusted Chan. I'm thankful for what this can do for my career. Because even the people that's talking to me right now, they're shocked at like, nah, King, that's a good league. I'm like y'all playing against some nice teams. Like even Maduro, we just played, and this is how sometimes I look at the league. Their starting lineup was about 6'2", 6'6", 6'8", 6'10". This is good basketball,
right?
You know, and some leagues you play in, you might have 1 6'8" guy. Everybody else is the midgets, honestly. So good league. It's eye opening for me, but I'm excited.
Talk about eye-opening. Talk about these fans here in the gym, because I was there game 1, and then the second home game was game number 4, and the city just went to Newcastle the day before to watch Kokomo play in that game in the state tournament, and I was at that game, packed out gym, and they still came to watch y'all play. Absolutely. So talk about these fans that like I said, you've been around for a while, played numerous places, and all of a sudden it's like Kokomo loves basketball, and they love the Bobkats, and you get to see it firsthand. And it may be eye-opening for you, talking about how amazing the fans are.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The whole experience, the whole top to bottom, the whole experience is eye-opening for sure. But if I could equate it to something, it feels like college.
Okay.
Because college is where you usually get that fan love like that. You know, I obviously at the pro level, you can find certain organizations that have big fan support. I'm talking about outside of the NBA. But it's rare to find this. It's like a college feel. Yeah. This feels like college as far as the fans everywhere you walk. Hey, I saw your game. I'm at Elite Therapy. I saw the game. We had to leave when you got to 100. I'm like, I'm at the gas station. We saw your game. So in that aspect, it's like a college feel where when you're in the city, everyone knows about the Bobkats. It's the big deal here. So that's what I would say. I would equate it to college for sure.
What's even funnier about that is he hasn't gotten to see a Friday or Saturday game.
Oh, man.
And that's what I'm saying.
It has been a Sunday afternoon.
Every game's been Sunday. And we don't get a Friday, Saturday till next month.
Ooh.
So
seeing the kids out. And that's what I'm saying. So I haven't even seen it yet. But
Friday, Saturday, it picks up. Plus also, we're going to start going to the high schools and middle schools and stuff. And
so this is what I'll say, and this is the truth. You playing some G League gyms, it is empty. It's empty in there. It's you, the other team, that kid's dad live close. You got a few scouts.
He said his dad lives close.
But that's really, you gonna play in some of these gyms. The best game in the G League is the kids' game at noon because they get all the kids to come. They don't care who they cheer for. That's one of the best attendance games for a G League team every year. It is. It's like you can check the team's attendance. The children's game is one of their best game every year. Kokomo, I'm seeing the fans, and we haven't even had a sold out game. But it's not only how many people are there; it's their energy. You can just tell how engaged they are to the Bobkats. So this is a question I'll ask some of the fans that come up to me. I'm like, how long you been a Bobcat? Since we started. It's like since they've been around. It's like, yeah, since they've been here, we've been with them. So that's good for me to see. I keep stressing this point because I feel like I'm talking to some other players that might be hesitant to join the TBL and not really understanding what they're getting, but it's so much better than a lot of stuff overseas.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. I mean, I've played in a few places too, and it's definitely a better experience in terms of some of what some people would be better pay, and also sometimes better living conditions. Like we're lucky enough to have a house where everybody's kind of together. I mean, other places I play, we've got apartments and things like that. Like the teams basically do a good job of taking care of you, and then just about every place I played had some form of food sponsor too. Because I know, like when I was in Mexico, it was like, all right, you played your game. Figure it out.
I'll see you later. For sure. Yeah, for sure. That's how Mexico was for me. I mean, they paid you your money, but all the other stuff that goes into it, the elite therapy, the food, even this, like the Kokomo Post, like everything that goes into it, it's top notch. And so I appreciate it from from somebody that's looking at the business aspect of it and looking at all the resources that go into making this thing as big as it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that part of it.
Yeah. Let's get back to you real quick because he is here. You've been trying to get him here for a few years.
Yes.
There are other guys that are here, and I think you've been trying to get here for a few years, but we haven't touched on it. And my wife was at the game with me on Sunday, and she made a comment about how well-rounded the team has been put together. And, of course, 8 guys in double-figure scoring on Sunday. That's going to be a big factor. But she made a comment about it, and it was her first time watching the team play. And so what went into you building this team that people and fans are saying, this team's put together in a well-rounded way?
So out of the 24 people that I brought in training camp, I think 18 or 19 I've known on some form of personal level or, outside.
Akeem being one of them.
Like I've known them for, a long time, good enough time. I'll say good enough time. Like Akeem, we've basically known each other for 14, 15 years. Darius, the same thing. Richie, my dad used to train him.
Oh, wow.
Me, Richie, and Fudge used to train in Michigan City together when we were younger in high school. Plum, I met him through Fudge 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And me and Plum have just been cool ever since.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. Joe Burton. Me and him went to college together. He was my freshman, so I used to take care of him. He used to sleep on my couch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I bet he has some stories to tell.
Oh yeah. And then I'm even Trey Barber, who was one of the guys that I wasn't most familiar with, but we had kind of an understanding before he got to training camp because also Plum had introduced me to him, and then I found out Joe knew him because they're from Houston together, and then even Orlando. I didn't realize Orlando knew. I knew Orlando for a few years because we went to a workout together 3 years ago. Yeah, he brought it up to me. He's like, "Yeah, we went. You was at the such and such the workout that went supposed to go here." And I was like, "Oh man, you were there." And then it even turns out what's even wilder than that is when he was back in high school, he's from Kalamazoo. Darius played at Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. So in high school, he used to watch Darius play.
Wow.
I know that.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying.
That's his basketball world, though.
It is. It's very connected like that.
So it kind of just worked out in terms of if you bring in some good, solid character guys and things like that, and it's always like that. You meet one of your friend's friends. More than likely, they're like your friend, and you're gonna kind of click.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this kind of was. You meet some solid guys, and even with Big Fudge, like we were talking about that, we played against each other. Then we were teammates. I knew what we talked so much basketball that I know he knows what he's doing coaching side wise.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it's been a great experience with that, and it's also made things really easy.
I know he's not here right now, and I don't care where y'all go with this. I'm just going to ask a question, and somebody start talking and fill it in. What have you noticed from him being a coach now and how he's impacted the Bobcats so far earlier this year?
He came in hot.
Yes. Yep.
Came in hot. A lot of big ideas.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of it's actually been pretty solid, too. And, it's like some stuff that I wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah.
Because when you come together and then somebody comes in kind of late, they kind of have a different perspective because they didn't see everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's fresh eyes on what you've been doing. So I will say that, and that's been definitely helpful in terms of that. And then I feel like he also brings a different element where, I don't know if you heard him, but he's a loud guy when he wants to.
No, I didn't know that. Not at all.
Yeah, no.
I'm kind of trying to be sarcastic. I might be doing a bad job, but no, he is. He is.
He does a good job with us too, with the players.
Yeah.
He's been working with a few of us, getting us loose before the game. We found out that he actually is a certified PT.
Oh wow.
So
that's real beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. So the first game, or he put us through a workout. We had a 5 a.m. lifts, and we're 10 minutes in. I'm like, we got more? He's like, yeah, that's just a warm up. I'm like, we got practice after this, man. I'm like, yeah. But no, so he's good. He's super helpful with us, with our bigs, because he's like Chandler and they were just playing. They give you a different dynamic when it comes to how they give you a tip on the court. It's more of a player's coach. That's what I'll say. And that's what I'll say about Chandler and him. it's a player's coach. I know what you're seeing. I remember feeling this, you know? Yeah.
Help me out. He's a comedian.
Yes.
I've seen him on Instagram. He was on the show before. Does any of that comedy come out during practice?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's certain guys that you just, hey man, leave them alone. You're out of your depth on this one.
Yeah.
You know, you try and make a joke about him or something like that, you're a little out of your depth. Now, Plum doesn't care.
Okay.
Plum doesn't care.
No. But you know, you've seen it with different videos, different things like that. He's kind of the guy. He'll make a joke about anybody, anywhere, anytime. Does not matter.
Yeah.
It's a fun group because you can tell some of us, we grew up joking. Yeah, we do that. And so it's like, but with him, you got to know this is a pro. This is a pro. Like, some people play basketball, then you got the pros. Some people tell jokes. Big Fudge is a pro.
So, speaking of that, like people telling jokes and stuff like that and going back and forth, I was curious about this with you. We're almost up out of time. Your favorite NBA player is LeBron. When you pick LeBron or Jordan, you go with Jordan.
Yeah.
So make that make sense to me.
Respect, first of all.
Yeah.
I grew up in Chicagoland, so.
And that's what got me, because I'm thinking you're from Chicago or in the area. I would have thought your favorite player would have been Jordan, but also if it's his current players, I understand.
The reason I pick LeBron is because the way he plays the game.
Okay.
I love the way LeBron played the game. That's somebody that I study when I'm watching the game. His selflessness, and I know that he gets a bad rap for that sometimes, that he makes the right pass regardless of the situation. That's integrity to me.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that part of it. But Jordan, when we're talking about the game of basketball, that dominance, that killer instinct, that punching Kerr in the face in practice and stuff like that, but that's just that competitor, and I love that. And then with Jordan, I took a break to go play baseball, came back and won. It's like, I'm the best at this. It's like, I'm the best. It's like, I'm the best, man.
Hey, don't look over here.
I'm the best.
Jordan helped get helped get my family 2 rings. I can't say nothing one way or the other.
That is true. That is true.
They almost got a company line on that.
Hey, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Jordans.
So that was a very PR trained response.
Yes,
We appreciate the Jordan fans.
Extremely.
Shout out to Mike.
Last thing here, we got a newcomer here. The team is playing in Lebanon this week, and then also on Saturday playing in St. Louis. 2 road games, a rematch with the Griffins. I don't think you guys have played Lebanon yet this year.
No, not yet.
So first time playing Lebanon this year. Sunday, I look down on the other side of your bench across the court, and Devin Harris is over there. Is there any chance that between now and the next home game that Devin might be in a Bobkats uniform?
It's one of those things you never really know.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that, hey, Chan, I'm ready. You know, he's always, hey, man, I'm ready. Just let me know. But, you know, so, you know, it's one of those things we'll see. If it really, you know, if it makes sense at some point, or somebody gets an opportunity or something, or, you know, it's one of those things, like, I'm not going to just bring him in just to bring him in.
Yeah.
It would have to be like, okay, we have to do something because something happened. Mm-hmm. So.
Even to that, you have alumni at the games.
Yes.
Like, do you like this is what I'm saying about how big this is. You got alumni coming back to you didn't have anything else to do here but the game, right?
No, he flew in just for the game. He's from Florida. So,
It's like, that's huge. It just shows you how much the impact Kokomo left on him.
Yeah. I mean, even with Ace will be at all the games when he gets back in the country, but he's at just about every home game. He's over there just with his family, just hanging out.
It is a big hangout here. Akeem, last thing, open the floor to you. Do you have any last comments about anything with the Bobcats so far that you've experienced being on the team?
I'm super grateful to play for a team that prays before the game. I'm super believe in God, Christ follower for sure, kingdom believer. So the fact that we pray before games, that is another thing when I'm talking about how big this is for me. I'll say that love the fans, love the community. I see Kokomo and the Bobcats being something that can progress and be like a major when you're thinking about the brand Kokomo basketball, right? It's like Bobcat basketball. I think that brand can be something that keeps expanding and growing. I do.
Same thing, but different thought. What are your thoughts getting ready for these games this week? One against Lebanon, and then a rematch with the Griffins.
I mean, Lebanon's always a solid team. They always manage to get some good guys down there. So it's definitely gonna be a fight. It's kind of more of a special game for me too because we have some guys that played for Lebanon. Mm-hmm. Me, Trey Mitchell, and Big Fudge all played for Lebanon at one point. So like Coach Benson, is a great guy. Preston, the owner, great guy too as well. Like it's kind of a homecoming for me in that sense. And then in St. Louis, I don't like the way we left St. Louis last year. Okay. So, that's a little extra for me on that. Okay.
You going to pull the suit out again?
I think the suit's probably going to be here to stay. Okay. Unless it gets too hot. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when we get to June, I don't know about that.
Hey, you know that gym gets hot.
You might get the Shaka Smart, just the rolled up sleeves, the tie that's on there for the first quarter, then it comes off. I don't know.
I really appreciate Chandler coming back on and Akeem coming on the show as well. Guys, this has been the Bobkast. We'll see you next time.